March 2023, a group of researchers formed the Truth Mafia, a collective determined to investigate conspiracies and occult mysteries that have been buried for centuries. With a passion for uncovering the truth, they delve into the darkest corners of history, pop culture, and ancient mysteries, seeking answers to questions that have plagued humanity for ages. The Truth Mafia is led by Tommy Truthful, a man shrouded in mystery and intrigue, dedicated to uncovering the hidden truths behind some of the world's most perplexing and enigmatic phenomena. Their research has led them down countless rabbit holes, from deciphering ancient symbols to exploring the hidden meanings behind popular media and literature. Despite the risks and challenges they face, the Truth Mafia remains steadfast in their quest for knowledge. Will their investigations lead to groundbreaking revelations, or will they unravel an even deeper web of secrets and lies? Only time will tell in this ongoing saga of conspiracy and intrigue.
Welcome to another episode of Truth Mafia News. This is episode 19. And today we're going to get into, obviously, the election, which, was a major energy harvest. There's a reason the Schumann resonance was super high yesterday as people are feeling their energy off. We'll get into all that. But before we get going, this is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. And guys, make sure you do me a favor. The link is down in the description. Go opt into our daily newsletter. It'll literally take you 10 seconds. Throw your email in, click on the link, boom. That way you get notifications and updates every time we go live or drop a new project. And it's not just from me. It'll be from the whole Truth Mafia team. And this podcast, like every podcast, is sponsored through Body Align in the Energy Wellness. Use promo code Truth Mafia. The link is down below. It's got the Shugnite, the Tourmaline, different elements grounded up in the wristband, and then certain frequencies binded to this hologram, which protects your body from the EMF and microwave radiation. Again, that is down below. Promo code Truth Mafia, just like you see it on the screen. And today we are going to address many different things. There's so much going on. They launched new missiles yesterday, guys. Some hypersonic missile. They're talking about rare November hurricanes barreling towards the U.S. I'm going to break that down, show you the connection to 191, Psalms 191, Werner von Braun, which he put that on his tombstone. This is the guy who built NASA's rocket program. And then you got Trump as the president now. Well, what did Trump bring in? Space Force. And what did Werner von Braun say on his deathbed? They were going to weaponize space. And right before they weaponized space, that the next stage to bring in that new world order, that global government, is the fake alien invasion. So I think we're getting ready for that. But there's so much to talk about. My dad's here with me, Papa Truthful. Pops, what's up, brother?
Well, it's a wonderful day as always. I'm feeling good. Again, it's not because of the politics of things. It's just because of the energy and the frequency of what's going on this planet and in the universe and all of creation. One of the things that was interesting we were talking about before we went live here is, again, I voted for Trump. I had to pick, one or the other. And I feel, I picked Trump. I voted for him. I wasn't going to vote for somebody that was installed. I just didn't feel good about that. And but again, I'm going to say that the federal government is not going to rescue anybody. It's not really going to change your life in your local community. We got to take our local communities back. We've got to get self-sufficient again with community gardens and, self-sufficient on power, on water, all of those things. But yeah, I was glad that it was, him versus her. And, if there was a different her, maybe I would have voted for the different her. Who knows? But at the end of the day, what people don't understand is that Trump isn't this riding in on a white horse and going to save everybody. You looked at what happened his last time, how the attacks were ferocious. And in all of these agencies, these three-letter agencies, these bureaucrats have been in there, these unelected bureaucrats, meaning we don't elect them. They are appointed.
Selected,
They
yeah.
do a lot of, yeah, they're selected. They do a lot of damage to the American people and to this country. And there's a lot of work to be done there. I mean, you've got a 6 trillion plus bloated budget going on. It's ridiculous. The government is supposed to focus on, again, printing our money with silver and gold back and asset back, protecting us against piracy on the ocean, which, you know, it still happens in some areas, but back then it was really happening. Protect our borders and protect us against foreign invasion with our military. They're supposed to, they're supposed to, you know, do high treason, you know, do any type of treason that they catch somebody for treason, and they're supposed to do treaties, you know, treaties with other countries. That's it. They're not supposed to be involved in our food. They're not supposed to be involved in, you know, our health care. They're not supposed to be involved in our retirement funds. They're not supposed to be involved in any of that, but yet they are. And they're so inefficient at it. They're so inefficient at it. The waste and the abuse going on is ridiculous. Now, there could be things coming, you know, doing prayer and meditation. This thing is going to get heated. And
Yeah.
what I believe is the God, the creator of all things, always been, always will be, was never created, is giving us a span of time, which will be some very dark times within this span of time. Very dark. Okay. It'll be so dark that you think that we're okay. Well, this guy got elected and this is happening. That kind of darkness. It's going to be really, really dark. But if we don't show the creator that we're going to fight, declare and decree, pray, give thanks, and really, really pay attention to what's going on in this country and get rid of this satanic, evil stuff going on. Once these 4 years are over, we won't get another chance, I don't think. You know, I don't think, you know, we are going to be looked at in these 4 years of what we're doing to clean up all of this nastiness we know is going on with the children and everybody else. You know what I mean? The sex slavery, the, you know, the trafficking. You know, there's 350,000 or 320,000 children missing that cross the borders. Where you all think they are? Where you all think they are? I mean, God is not going to bless the United States of America or any country that aren't protecting the innocent. It ain't going to happen. And if we get complacent again, look, we got complacent before Trump even entered the arena, right? Because we allowed these satanic, evil people to completely dominate all the pillars of society and indoctrinate our children through the school system and pervert them, pervert all of this stuff. We did this. We allowed it to happen. Then Trump comes aboard, some good things happen, battling back and forth. People are losing focus. And, you know, we get lackadaisical again. Then we get to deal with these people that don't know what the hell they're doing. The one guy can't even speak. He's crapping his pants up on stage. What a mess. And then we get proactive again. Now Trump's back and saying, what is everybody going to get lackadaisical again? It ain't. God will not let this continue the way it's going. And as things get darker, you better cry out and ask for him to give us some help. Okay? Because we're going to need it.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting. Travis said how Trump won the election 222 days before his birthday, and the whole code red, the Rona, it came in. That was tied to that 222 number as well. It was 222 months after 9/11. I'm pretty sure. Am I right, Travis? If I'm not mistaken. And Order Out of Chaos is under that number. So it's very interesting. Like, I wrote this real detailed post yesterday on Facebook, and it got a lot of shares, and I put a lot of thought into it. I'm just going to read it for the people real quick. And this is my true belief in all of it. Trump won the 2024 election. I'm a pro-life conservative and no fan of Kamala Harris, but honestly, I don't trust either side as far as I can throw them. This isn't about red or blue anymore. It's about exposing the reality that these elections are nothing more than a massive energy harvest. Every election cycle, they set the stage, bring out new faces, new promises, and new puppets, all while draining our hopes and energy. Elections aren't what they appear to be. They're selections. Every 4 years, we're given the illusion of choice that's already been made for us by the elite bloodlines that's been running since the beginning of time. This isn't about representing the people. It's about electing the next CEO of the corporation known as America. They want us to be emotionally invested, pouring our energy into these elections while hoping for change. But that hope, rage, and belief, it's all serves to fuel them. They're feeding off of our spirit and our collective energy, all while keeping us divided. Every vote becomes a ritual, a sacrifice of our energy on the altar of their agenda. It's a satanic harvest disguised as democracy. And I say, let's break down the red and blue they push on us so heavily. These aren't just colors. They're symbolic pillars dating back to ancient pillars of Solomon, the temple of Jachin and Boaz, the red and blue, the two pillars, the sun energy, the moon energy, the Scottish Rite, the red, the York, the blue, the two branches of Freemasonry. That's running it for the people up at the elite, at the higher levels. So what do they really want? They want us trapped between these pillars, constantly swinging from left to right, liberal to conservative, Democrat to Republican, without ever truly finding balance or truth. The red and blue aren't options. They're cycle of polarity designed to keep us locked into their game, fueling division, confusion, and ultimately feeding their ritual energy harvest. Think about it. They pick the candidates, they set the agenda, the stage, the debates, all to make it look real. Meanwhile, the same elite bloodlines, the same global power players are pulling the strings from the sideshows. So, it's my boy Matrix Codebreaker Pops. You know what he said? He did a post, a meme, and he said it's starting to get like when everybody found out wrestling was fake and they just liked it anyways and kept on watching it. That's pretty much where we are now with politics and the news. Like they know it's fake, but they whatever. They got their teams. We're very tribal. That's all psychology driven. They know this group think. So we're very tribal people in general, humans. And that's why the whole team thing works good. The red versus the blue, the Democrat versus Republican. But,
it's divide and conquer, as it always is. And it's always divide and conquer, right?
Yeah.
Divide and conquer. Politics, religion, everything. Divide and conquer. Sports teams, all of it, Coke, Pepsi, everything is just divide and conquer.
Right.
It's really crazy. But one of the other things I wanted to say is, I hope that good happens with our federal government. I don't count on it in any way, shape, or form. If I see something happening that's good, that's great. But it's so controlled. It's so deep state, black operations, black book stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous. And one of the things that's very interesting is if he wins Arizona and Nevada, it will total 312. And 312, when you look at the biblical meaning of it, okay? So 312 is a number that refers to a Greek word, Angel. Oh man, Anagggello. Pronounce that for you, which means to announce or declare in detail. And then Paul says we didn't hesitate to declare the Ephesians the whole counsel of God. So I believe that God is declaring and announcing that we've got a little window of time, even though that I've heard, and I'm not saying this is true. I don't know whether it is or it's not, but there's some, they don't, the other side, like, the red and blue, the blue side does not want him in office. They're going to do whatever they can do to keep him out of office. And that could, could entail things that happen in different states where then they could lock down the country and martial law and, stay in office. Right.
Yeah,
So again, I am so sick. There should be no DOJ. There should be no FBI. There should be no CIA. There should be none of these FDA or FCC or SEC. The Department of Education, all of them need to be closed down, and everything needs to be done by the people in the states. And then we got to get rid of all the corruption in the states, the local communities, the mayors, the DAs, all of that, because the federal government is just a big burden on this country. It really, truly is. It needs to go back to what the founding fathers set it up for. And it's those 5 things. And that's it. Most of what it's doing is unconstitutional. This isn't a democratic situation here. We're a republic.
100%.
We're a republic. And the taxes, the income tax is illegal. All this stuff that they're doing to people is illegal. So what I say, again, like I've said many, many times, and if you listened to me years ago on the Patriot Lama show, a lot of things I was talking about back then are happening right in front of your eyes, just like my son, Tommy Truthful's told you guys a lot too that have come to pass. And, the creator downloads a lot of stuff in me. And what he's saying is, don't get enamored with people. Don't get worshiping, idolizing people.
I agree with that.
Focus on him, the creator, build a relationship with him, give him thanks, give him glory, give him all of that. And make sure when all hell's breaking loose, like it's going to, you think just because Trump got elected that freaking all it's going to be, doves floating down and all kinds of crap like that. No, it's going to be these people that, let's give you an example.
Worse, right, Pops?
It's going to get a lot worse. And, look at this. January 6th, they prosecuted grandmas on, for going to January 6th. They put like 600 people in jail, something around that number, right? Not exactly that. You know how many people they put in jail?
Thousands, though, right?
Well, how many people did they put in jail that was on the Jeffrey Epstein list?
Oh, I don't know. Not many.
Not one.
I mean, P. Diddy's supposed to be.
Not one.
Because, what's happening to him? Who knows?
Well, I heard they pulled P. Diddy up right now because they wanted to control the celebrity endorsements for Kamala. Okay. So who never got one vote in the primary, who was just put into, okay, Joe, you're out. You're in. That's not democracy. That's not democracy. When people don't get any vote, regardless of Biden, whatever he was, he won the Democratic primary.
So they say.
But they didn't let Bobby Kennedy in Jr. or none of that, right? So we got so much to do. Everybody, they get really super excited, and then wait till you see what's going to be happening. It's going to be, all hell's going to be breaking loose. It's going to get worse, weather weapons, all of that stuff. Even though we've got, son, where we have something that can help with all of that, which we'll be talking about later, the white paper and the scientific papers. I mean, this thing even stops EMP attacks, by the way. That's found that out. Not besides the fact that one of the big Z devices, which we're bringing to millionaires, of all sizes to put around this planet, it puts out 261 Amazon rainforests worth of negative ions. One device, one big Z puts out that kind of negative ions. And when you read what negative ions do for the people on the planet, it's all positive. And we've been cutting these trees down, just industrializing this planet, and we're killing the amount of negative ions that are getting produced in our environment, and we got to get them out there. So imagine if we have 350 Zeds and each one of them, 350, I'm not talking about 3,500, I'm not talking about 35,000, I'm talking about 350. 350. And you have 261 Amazon rainforest worth of negative ions going into our environment. It's like having 91,000 plus Amazon rainforests around the world. That will transform the planet and the population like nobody even understands. And it will get people to a point where they can, I say easier transcend to the frequency that we're headed, the vibration we're headed to. Because the way it is right now, and this is from people that are involved in spiritual work and light warrior work like no tomorrow, where I get a lot of intel from and what I get in my discernment, if that doesn't happen, more than half this population will not make it through it. Will not make it through it, meaning they will leave this planet. They will probably be reincarnated in another 3D situation, and they won't make it through this. They won't.
Well, I mean, look, dude, right now they're keeping our attention away from all this natural disaster stuff. And like people just forgot about Helene and all that already. You know, now everybody's on the election. So they're talking about rare November hurricane, which I'll get into that in a second. But I want to show you this clip, Dad, of what happened in Oklahoma, bro. And, you know, my followers know probably 2 years ago. Yeah, we're on the second season now. So about 2 years ago, this series came out with Sylvester Stallone, and it's a really good series. You probably already watched it, Pops. Tulsa King.
Oh, that's my Cindy, your stepmom and me. We watched the Tulsa King and we watched Penguin, man.
Penguin is, dude. I knew you was on that Penguin. I wanted to ask you to watch it. Ask people. I've been talking about it for like 3 weeks now. I tell everybody that comes on the show, dude, you got to watch Penguin. Don't it got like a Soprano vibe to it, Pops?
Well, that dude is Colin Farrell. You know, he's doing a massive, amazing job as acting. It's crazy. It's really crazy. But overall, the acting is just amazing what he's doing, and it's pretty crazy.
It is. There's a lot of programming in the major films like that. That's why I like to watch them to decode them. So, anyways, when Tulsa King came out, anytime you have a big blockbuster movie like that, they usually will have events in them locations. I started seeing this as pattern recognition. You start to notice these little patterns. I noticed it with Yellowstone when that came out. We had several events in that area. And now Tulsa King comes out and Oklahoma just keeps getting hit with, you know, these weather weapons, because that's what they are. So I'm going to show you this clip, guys. I put it's only about a minute and 30 seconds long. I put a little music to it. This song I actually created when we had the flooding in Dubai going on. So I want you to listen to the lyrics and see how much is actually still happening right now. It's kind of crazy because remember, that was a while back, the flooding in Dubai, and it's still, you know, relevant now. Check this out.
Truthful on the mic, Truth Mafia. We exposing the hype, fallen angel tech. Weather on a strike, clouds seen in Dubai, flooding through the night. They're controlling the skies, yeah, it's no lie. Falling angelic tech, watch the storms multiply. From Dubai to the west, see the earth's cry. I'll be living in the final days, open up your eyes. Wildfires blazing from Spain to LA. Netflix and chill while the world's in decay. Tornadoes sweeping dreams all away. We sit on couches and bed days we stay. My control, yeah, they dumbed us down. Like clowns in a circus, we just go round and round. Operation Mockingbird, truth nowhere to be found. Now control is not found. They're controlling the skies, yeah, it's no lie. Angelic tech, watch the storms multiply. From Dubai to the west, see the earth's cry. All we need in the final days, open up your eyes. Vaccines to weather, control so fast. Stargates with CERN, the die is cast. Portals to chaos, Tommy got the truth holding fast. For the truth and more, yeah, you know where to go. Truth Mafia.
as you can see, I mean, it's not looking good. And you said who wrote it? I write all the songs, honey. Every song is all the lyrics are written by me, the beats produced by me, and that person singing is actually an AI that I created to rap it. So it's all done by me, the everything. But yeah, that was a good one right there. But ain't that crazy, Pops? I mean, it's like devastated out there, and it's not just here, bro. There's so many places.
Well, what have we been talking about? You know, I've been
Right.
talking about this forever, that the weather's going to continue to go more and more insane based on weather weapons and based on the electromagnetic pollution and the chemtrails that's, you know, eating up all our atmosphere. If we don't get this under control, we won't even be able to do anything on this planet. So again, one of my main focuses are, and we're having a meeting next week, is I got to get those three. I don't care what Trump's doing. I don't care what any of these freaking people are doing. Myself and one of my business partners and our team, we're focused on getting these 350 units around the planet so that we can reverse this, so they can reverse this situation that's going on, which, by the way, it stops these weather weapons, sucks all the power out of them, and it gives us a very calm, you know, environment. If you look at, anybody can go on Google, you can go on Chat GPT and put in what are the positive effects of negative ions on the planet and the people. Read it. Read it. And they've killed all of that. They don't want it. They don't want us to have negative ions. They want everybody to be. Look, I'm gonna tell you here real quick. I want to read this, son. Okay.
Go ahead, Pops.
So the benefits for people of negative ions: improved mood and mental health. Negative ions are believed to increase serotonin levels, which can improve mood and alleviate symptoms of depression. They are often found in natural settings like forests, waterfalls, and beaches, places that are known to make people feel relaxed and rejuvenated. Number two, better air quality. Negative ions can attach to airborne pollutants like dust, pollen, smoke, and allergens, making them too heavy to stay in the air, thus purifying the environment and improving air quality. This can help people with allergies or respiratory issues. Number three, enhanced sleep and stress reduction. Some studies suggest that the exposure to negative ions may help improve sleep patterns and reduce stress by calming the nervous system. And then number four, boost immunity. Research indicates that negative ions may enhance the activity of cilia in the respiratory system, helping the body filter out pollutants and pathogens more effectively. That's for the people. Then for the planet, natural air cleansing, positive environmental effects, and reduction of electronic pollution. Now, let me just read those real quick, and then we'll go back to what we're doing. So, natural air cleaning, in outdoor settings, negative ions help remove pollutants from the air by causing particles to clump together and fall to the ground. This process contributes to a cleaner atmosphere. Positive environmental effects. Areas with high concentration of negative ions, such as forests, waterfalls, and nearby bodies of water, tend to be thriving ecosystems. These areas support the planet's growth, reduce air pollution, and contribute to biodiversity, indicating a broader ecological benefit. And then reduction of electronic pollution in urban areas where electronic devices create positive ions, which are bad. By the way, look at what positive ions do to you.
Right.
Pollution, positive ion pollution, increasing negative ions could help balance the environment, reducing some of the negative effects of air quality, degradation caused by human activity. Man, no wonder these devices are working so well, because they're putting out 261 amount of negative ions of an Amazon rainforest with one device. And the smaller ones are putting out massive amounts. We're going to get the stats on that. Massive amounts. So what is that going to do for the people on the planet? It's going to be a great thing. I got to focus on that. I don't give a shit what's going on in the federal government.
I feel you. And what you mentioned, selenium pops, which is in the human body. I mean, it's one of the main elements in us, right? And it has a major effect on us. So we're seeing that also used in solar cells. And when you look, you know me, I'm all about the numerology. I look into the numbers, gematria. This comes from, for anybody new here, Jewish Kabbalah mysticism going back to Babylon. And everything's encoded with it. I mean, everything. I don't know if they got some super AI running the shit or what, but it's crazy.
Well, they do, and you should reach out to Brother
Ishmael Perez.
Ishmael,
I will.
and let's talk about the whole AI system that has been destroying worlds. And we need to have him, talk about that, answer questions for the brothers and sisters here, and really dig into that. This electromagnetic pollution is part of the destruction.
Yeah, and it is. And it's all part of their AI takeover, rolling out the smart grid, the smart cities. That's why they're destroying everything. Look at it from a business perspective. If you would have to go in and that's their goal, guys. Read their own white papers. They tell you they're rolling out the smart cities. This is all part of Agenda 2030. They're going to have everything QR coded and it's all going to be digital with their nanotech. So what do they got to do? They got to go into these places, take down the old infrastructure and put out the new, right? Well, most of the time, people are not going to move. They've been living there forever. So how do you get them out of there? Well, cause these natural disasters. That'll damn sure get them out, won't it? We've seen what Oklahoma looked like. Ain't nobody moving back in that neighborhood. They'll use that just like down in the Carolinas where they hit with Helene. Well, that was full of lithium, which is also used in the...
Well, you know what else is going on there, son, that I've heard?
What's that, Pop?
The trucks come through there, the containers.
Yeah.
That's a big hub. What do you think they're finding on those containers?
What? Kids?
Yes.
Oh, of course they are. Well,
they're one of the biggest hubs
I bet
for
they
that
are.
on the East Coast.
I bet they are. My boy B. Dell, he did a video and he actually said that about Hurricane Helene, how it was connected to some of that stuff. Very interesting, guys. Check out B. Dell. His YouTube is B. Dell.
Well, I know somebody that lives there and is dealing with the sheriff, and that's exactly what's going on. And, that could be weather weapons and, God increasing whatever because of what's going on there. And I mean, the amount of people that have died in North Carolina that are buried under the mud, it's just it just is devastating the whole place. I mean, it's like you can't live there. It's just devastating. And people with their attention spans of 2 seconds, they forgot about it.
Yeah, people just forget about it. It's crazy, man. It's really sad. And yeah, shout out to my boy Donut Factory. He did a podcast last night, him and Paranoid American. Check out their new comic they got out at illuminaticomics.com. They put out a comic book, and they're part of the team. So I always shout them out and support them, just like B. Dell. The Truth Mafia, we're a huge family of content creators that all try to work together to combat this whole censorship. Some promote more than others, but hey, you'll have that. That's not what it's about, right? Really. But it does happen. But yeah, B. Dell's got some really interesting stuff on that, Dad. I'll have to bring him on sometime and talk to you because you guys could go on forever about that. He knows a lot, getting into all the children, what's really going on with these Canaanite bloodlines. And that number 312, just to go back to that, because you brought that up, that's a very important number. Every number has both a negative and positive side to it. So you'll see very positive things tied to it and negative. This is with all numbers because we can all take the left-handed path or the right-handed path. You can go towards light and love and Jesus
Yin
Christ.
and yang, brother.
Whether you believe in Jesus Christ as a person or not, whether you speak his name, there's power in that because so many people believe in it. So, you know, and me personally, I do believe he was a person, but I'm just saying if you don't, but American Hero is 312, Dad.
Well,
And,
remember, the Father created the mother and Father created the Son, the Christ.
right.
It's pretty much in all the different, like, deep hidden text. They're talking about how that first the thing that's always been there, what they call the invisible Father, many names,
source.
it came to, mind. And the first thing mind was creating the mother. And then the mother and the Father created the third entity. And some believe that's the Christ. Some don't believe that's the Christ. I tend to believe that I don't know exactly if it is or it wasn't, but it was created within that first few, 5, 10 entities that were created from the source, as it came out and others created others. I got to tell you, nobody knows 100% of anything.
No.
And if they say they do, they're full of it.
You just got to have faith and discernment. I believe that how I look at Jesus, this is my belief with him. I look into the whole Gnosticism thing too, and I know there's negative sides of that and positive sides, but I do tend to believe that the God of the Old Testament is the demiurge that enslaved humanity, and Jesus came and set us free from that. You know what I mean? That's Yaldabaoth.
Well, yeah, if you read the Gnostic Bible
And
that
that's
I've read now, and now I'm studying again, reading again, and really digging into studying it, it pretty much, lays that case out in a big way.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I like to learn all religions. I respect all religions. Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, Catholicism. They're all
Why do they wipe out the Gnostics? Why do they wipe out the Essenes?
but they're all controlled now. They've all been infiltrated.
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking about when they were pure. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
Before infiltration, why did they, basically wipe them out?
Oh, because the knowledge, Jesus was teaching
Right.
that they didn't need to go to the synagogues and pay money and all this. You have
Right.
God is within all of us. Your body is the temple. God is within each one of you out there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we couldn't live without that, right? I mean, we're all within that entity, the creator, and that is in us, and that's what it is. And without it, none of us, our hearts wouldn't even beat. We would be nothing. We wouldn't be able to do anything. You know what I mean? Without the spirit from the source, God, I call the Heavenly Father. That's what I call the Father, the Heavenly Father.
Yeah, everybody has their own. My mom has her own beliefs. Shout out to my mother out there, amazing mother. But she's very Christian in her beliefs, and that's awesome. My family, on that side, that's how they believe, and I respect their beliefs. I respect everyone's. I got my 23andMe, and I found out I got Sephardic Jewish in me. I was talking to Donut about that. So we just did a podcast the other day. So he's like, Tommy Truthful, ain't you Jewish? And I said, no. And I was talking about my lineage. And then me and Mom went to get my teeth pulled. And she showed me that it got updated. So my Spain, because I had this Iberian Peninsula lineage, right? The Spanish lineage from the Iberian Peninsula, but it updated. The more people that take it, Dad, the more it updates, and it can tell you exactly what you are. And I have Sephardic Jewish on that side, which is the Jewish people that converted to Catholicism because they were going to be like slaughtered. And so they wrote to Constantinople, to the head synagogue. And there's a whole crazy conspiracy tied to all that. But the Sephardic Jews are pretty gangster. So I'm going to start the Jewish Mafia now. You know what I'm saying? And Dad, no joke, I'm going to send you my stuff, bro. And me and my sister Kate got North African in us, bro. Very small percentage, but I still thought it was cool. I always felt that inside me. I always told people I could feel it in me. But it's cool to find out like what your heritage is and stuff like that. Like, dude, I never knew I had I have a huge chunk of Scottish in me, bro, which I never knew that. I'm like, this is
I'm not giving those people my DNA, even though they could get it.
Well,
all they got to do is come around your house and collect it off.
Yeah. I didn't want to either, but when my mom did this, it was so long ago. It was when it first came out, and I had just got out of prison at the time. So they mouth swabbed me in there. So I'm like, oh shit, they already got it. And my mom will tell you, I sent her this video. She might be listening, but I kind of argued with her for a minute. I'm like, nah, mom, I'm not doing that. Like, even then, I wasn't into conspiracies back then because it was so long ago. I wasn't awake yet, but I knew I didn't want the government to have my DNA. And now, if I knew what I knew then, like if I knew what I know now, oh, I would have never done it, Dad, because they can engineer a bioweapon to attack you specifically for your DNA structure. You know what I mean? So yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't have did it. But I did do it. And I mean, it is interesting. We got all these cousins, bro. Like, I'm gonna send you some links. You got a bunch of cousins that you probably don't even know about. My mom's got all these cousins. It's kind of cool to find that out and find out our lineage, and what we are. And like, you'll take more after one parent than the other. Me and my son Carmine, we're almost a perfect. I think we're like an 83% match. Me and him are so much alike. I would love to see how close me and you are, Dad. And do you know there's people out there, Dad, that don't think you're my real dad? They think that's all a conspiracy.
Well, whatever. I know that I know the exact night that it happened, so they can think whatever they want, and you look like me, so
Yeah, I'm like, what? They're like, oh, yeah, that's just Tommy's real good friend that he calls dad. I'm like, dude, I would never call no friend. That's my dad. You know, him and my mom, down in my dad's homeboy's basement made me. So, you know, that's how it went down when they was some young bucks. But yeah, it's funny just to hear the different conspiracies out there, bro. I'm like, wow, they come up with some craziness out here. It's kind of comical. But yeah, so there's one more video I really want to share with you, Pops, and get your take on it. I always love to hear your take on stuff. And so I showed how they shot this missile yesterday, right? And I don't know a real lot about it. I just thought it was interesting that they're shooting this missile. I'm going to try to find out more about this, guys. But I think
right
it's
on election day.
yeah, right on election day, like you guys are out there blasting off hypersonic missiles and shit. What's this all about? And you shot it all the way across the world. Very interesting. And then these people that were on their way to the pole, Dad, these workers, they died. So there was a major sacrifice on election day of this couple. They were driving to the pole in Missouri, in St. Louis, Missouri, guys. That's on that 88 point right there where the twin eclipses made the X over that New Madrid fault line, where I told you there would be major flooding and rituals. Did I not? And bam, how'd they die? Oh, just in a flood. So they drowned it. On their way, drowned, however you pronounce that. My apologies. But yeah, they were on their way there, 4 a.m., they say. And when you look into numerology, just look this up. There's only one fear of a number, and it ain't damn sure ain't the number 13. It's the number 4. It's called tetraphobia. It's a doctor will actually get, like, just like you could have arachnophobia and fear of spiders. People actually have the fear of the number 4. It's very rare. You see it more amongst Asian cultures. And in Asian cultures, the number 4 is a very it's kind of like the number 13 in America, even though that's perverted and inverted. The number 13 is actually a sacred number. It represents Jesus Christ. There's 12 disciples. He was the 13th. But, you know, they pervert anything sacred, just like the number 33. But they die at 4 a.m., guys. They were 73 years old, one of them, which sacrificed to 73. So I found that to be interesting. And they were literally on their way to the poll on election day and washed off the roadway and rising floodwaters on State Route H. So I you know, that was kind of interesting. But what really got me is this. I'm keeping my eye on this rare November hurricane. I don't know why. When I seen this article, I thought of November Rain, that song. Did any of you guys think of that when you read the title? I just popped in my head. I know it probably has nothing to do with it, but so November hurricane equals 191 in English ordinal. And English ordinal is based on the English language, where A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, all the way through Z is 26. Just like the military encode things through numbers, trust me, so does the cabal. And so does this reality's encoded with it. Maybe God created us with some type of angelic technology, like, you know, we would create a reality on a computer. Maybe we don't understand how it works, you know, maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But I do know this: everything's encoded with these numbers, even my own life. And I know I'm not doing it. So there's something to it. There's some organic source code out there. And you know, anybody, like I said, any of you guys that are new here, if you watch the movie The Matrix, in the movie The Matrix, there are several people who wake up from the system. They learn to read the hidden code, the green letters and numbers of that matrix. This code is Gematria, what we too have. And we have the calculator on truthmafia.com. You can type in any word and then hit match, and you'll see all the phrases in the world it matches with. We have the biggest database in the whole world, and it's 100% free. Unlike a lot of these sites that are charging you money to hit the match button. We don't do that. But so this 191 connection, November hurricanes 191, which all roads lead to Q, is 191. How much you want to bet? Now Trump's in. They're going to ramp the Q stuff back up. Trump started Space Force. Werner von Braun on his freaking tombstone has Psalms 191, right? He was the father of the rocket program. And listen to this video. This was his secretary, and you'll hear Eddie Bravo talking. Eddie Bravo's one of Joe Rogan's friends, and he's talking about Werner von Braun being the father of the rockets program. Before I share it, this is called fair use and allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. It's only a couple minute clip, so check this out, guys. Here we go.
He was like, he was on some deathbed confessional type shit. He told his assistant, he said, on his deathbed, according to her, he said, the fake alien invasion is coming. Like, the fake alien invasion is what they've been planning. That's what's going to scare everybody into a one world government. It's always been about a one world government, and the fake alien invasion, that'll get everybody together. Everybody will volunteer. So we got to, you know, the aliens are going to kill us. We got to all unite. Yeah. So that's been the plan, the fake, and that's what Werner von Braun said. And on his tombstone,
the strategy that Werner von Braun taught me was that first the Russians are going to be considered to be the enemy. In fact, when I met him in '74, they were the enemy, the identified enemy. We were told that they had killer satellites. We were told that they were coming to get us and control us, the dirty commies, that whole story. First, the Russians were the enemy against whom we're going to build space-based weapons. Then terrorists would be identified, and that was soon to follow. We heard a lot about terrorism. Then we were going to identify third world country crazies. We now call them nations of concern. But he said that would be the third enemy against whom we would be needing to build space-based weapons. And the next enemy was asteroids. Now, at this point, he kind of chuckled the first time he said it. Asteroids, against asteroids, we're going to build space-based weapons. So it was funny then. And the funniest one of all was against what he called aliens, extraterrestrials. That would be the final card. And over and over and over, during the 4 years that I knew him and was giving his speeches for him, he would bring up that last card. And remember, Carol, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens. And all of it, he said, is a lie.
On his tombstone, it has a psalm, whatever, like Psalm 8. I don't know, like the Bible verses, but it's a particular psalm in the Bible that talks about the firmament, which is what people believe that, like, there's a dome, there's a dome firmament. We're in.
He's talking to Theo Von, guys, the guy that interviewed Trump. Just to give you a little context there. Shout out to my boy Donut in the comments. Go check out his new video.
An enclosed system. We're in a special place. Why the fuck would he have that on his tombstone? But it doesn't prove anything. Right. There's no proof. You know, but they have all the information. So when they're telling us that the sun is 93 million miles away, I'm like, that's what they say. Yeah. Like 93 million miles away, the sun looks 93 fucking million miles away.
It doesn't look that far away.
No, it doesn't look that far away.
It's interesting you say that too, because I mean, at the beginning of the year,
the White House was releasing that alien footage. Remember, we even did
Oh
that
yeah,
story?
they're pushing it. They'll put it on CNN. They're pushing it.
Yeah.
They're pushing all that. They're pushing.
So do you think that's the start of it?
I used to be a super fan of aliens and space.
Yeah, Eddie was a super fan of aliens. I've been watching Eddie and Joe Rogan since like 2011 when they were doing it before YouTube was what it was, when they had an Ethernet cable running into Joe's house and they literally had 1,000 subscribers on their YouTube. This is pre-CIA, Joe, you know, before they cloned him. But and I don't know if they really cloned him. I say that jokingly. They probably did though. But I don't trust none of them big people anymore. But you know, back then I still watch him. I still like his content. And Eddie Bravo's he's a really funny one. Him and Joe used to always say the moon landing was fake, and then when Joe blew up, though, he stopped saying that and he started getting mad at Eddie for saying it. It was so bizarre if you go back and watch them podcasts to see that transition there. Even Theo Vaughn, I watched Theo Vaughn start with 1,000 subscribers when he was doing promotions for this pizza company in California. He would do ad reads and get like $1,000 a month. Now he has 7 million people on Instagram. He just interviewed Donald Trump. And back then, you could see this change in him. Like, I think they were putting him through some ritual because you could just see the life drained out of that poor kid. And he was always upbeat and happy before that. But anyways, I think they're ramping up for this alien invasion. That's the point of the whole 191 code. That number, that's what it's tied to. So me and Donut have talked about this for a long time, them getting ready for their and I believe we live in some type of enclosed organic simulation. But that 191, it's in the Bible. It talks about the firmament, you know. So it's very interesting that the father of the rockets program put that on his tombstone. And then this article that's trending today just happens to equal 191 in English ordinal, which is what that number's tied to. And it's trending everywhere. And then all roads lead to Q. I'm telling you, mark my words. You heard it here first. The Q narrative will be back. It's coming back in full force. And it is going to hit hard like we've never seen it before, guys. So this new one, I guess, is Raphael, for anybody that's interested. So I don't know, Pops. What are your views? Because I know you got to go in like 10 minutes. What are your views, Pops, on the whole alien invasion thing? And I'm not saying maybe God did create other entities, but that doesn't mean they still can't do a fake alien invasion. Which I really don't trust aliens, bro. I think they're demonic myself, but that's just
Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Yeah, that's
most of them. Some of them are, and some of them aren't. But for us to believe that God, you know, understand something, the angels created things, right? When they came down and got with the women, they created the Nephilim. So you know, you got the reptilian, you got the grays, you got they got some. Look, there's a lot more life than just what we have on this planet.
My mom thinks they're demons too, though. She says,
well, I know that's religious indoctrination. And that's okay. You know what I mean? You know, everybody has their opinion. But if you think God just created the human race and then everything else is demons.
Well, no, I think there's angelic entities out there. But I just think, okay, take the word alien, Pops. What's it spell? Break it apart. A lie. So I think they took that word and took something that already existed and had a name. The jinn, the reptilians, these different names they've had, you know, they've had many different names, especially the reptilians in different cultures. I think that's what was in the Garden of Eden, but I don't think they're extraterrestrials. I think they're subterranean from that species anyways, is from under earth, I think. But
I mean, one day we will find out. Again, the only thing that I know is 100% true is time will tell. And let's see what the time tells us, because I don't believe the creator created all these universes and all these planets and all that and said, you know what, I'm just going to put humans on this planet. And that's it.
Yeah. Well,
it doesn't even make any sense. Why do you need all the other stuff then?
Well, what happens if we're in a firmament and enclosed simulation or enclosed?
Who knows?
There are no
planets. I mean, We don't know. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of opinions, but you know what they say about opinions, son, right?
Yeah, you're right. And they're like, yeah, assholes. Everybody's got one. And someone said in the comments, you do call your dad bro. So I call my son bro. I even call my mom probably bro one time. So that doesn't mean he's not my dad because I call him bro. You know, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. But yeah, Pops, my question really for you is, I know you know about Project Bluebeam. I know you know they can
Yeah, I
use
know all that
fake
stuff.
alien invasion, brother, to try to bring in the New World Order and the One World Government. So that's what I'm really asking you. Do you think they might try to ramp up for something like
They're
that?
going to do everything they can to keep control of this system, no matter what.
They're probably
So
working for them damn
be
reptiles.
prepared for it. Be prepared for it. Be prepared for it. Before Trump even gets done going what he's got going or whatever he's going to do with all these people and who they are and what they are and what side they're on, I don't know all of that. But at the end of the day, my goal is to get the things out that we have that can make a huge impact on this planet and the people on it by bringing back the negative ions that used to go up in our atmosphere, in our biosphere 10,000 years ago. That's going to solve a lot of problems. By the way, these devices I was telling you also protect against EMP attacks.
Electromagnetic pulses, which could be
Yes.
huge too. Yeah, because they did Cyber Polygon, Dad. So it seems like they're ramping up for that too. And that 312 number too, Dad, that you were looking at, American Banks equals 312. I wonder if there'll be some type of financial situation that will.
Well, the world can't continue to go down the path it's going down with all this debt that they can't pay.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we're working with monopoly money here. It's all fake.
Right. Yeah.
You know, the only thing that makes it real is our labor to get it.
The energy we put into
That's it.
Yeah, you're right.
Even like Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin?
We make it. It has a value because we give it one.
We give it one. If there, what is its purpose? What is its function? I don't know. Most people don't even know what that is. Right?
I couldn't tell you. Donut made a pretty penny on it back in the day. He still makes a little cash. So, but I still don't. I bet he probably don't even really know like what it is at its essence. I mean, I guess they said it was supposed to free us, right? And that was the whole thing behind Bitcoin. You could purchase things privately and all this BS, but I don't know, man. I never really trusted any of that cryptocurrency. To me, that leads to total control.
Only 19% of everything purchased right now is done with cash. Everything else is done with debit cards, credit cards.
Yeah, I use mine. I use my phone for real.
Right.
So
they've already moved us 81% towards where they want to go. So if you don't think they know everything you buy right now, they know everything you buy right now.
You're right.
Because they know everything that you buy right now. So again, we have so much that has to be done. And it ain't going to be by any one person winning an election. Maybe it'll be a better environment at the federal level. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But at the end of the day, it's going to get crazy like no one's ever seen in their lifetime here. And you got to get close to the Creator, God, the Father. You got to, give thanks. You got to be grateful. If you see things that are terrifying, you got to, call out. Yep. Pray, declare, and decree, meditate, all of that.
Well, it would be nice to see Trump if he did start locking some of these people up. Like Fauci needs to go to jail. My mom even said that. I agree with her. He does need to go to jail. That dude needs to be in jail for crimes against humanity for real, with the shit he's done. But the one thing I do think they're going to try, Dad, and then I want to hear your opinion on this. We'll plug and then end this one. But I think what they're going to try to do, bro, is say Biden dies. That way they can postpone Trump's inauguration. And I could be wrong. This is just me thinking out loud, guys. But that would allow, before Trump comes in January, they still got time to pull this off. If they say Biden dies, then Kamala Harris steps up as the 47th first female president right before Trump comes in. They would still be able to pull that off, just like they see.
Well, then the next thing you know, we have a massive terrorist attack somewhere.
Yeah, something crazy.
They blame on Russia or Iran, and they go into martial law. And now, they can delay this thing for a long, long time. And again, we're just thinking out of the box. But anything and everything is on the table.
We got to be ready, right? We got to be prepared. We got to keep our eye out for these psyops and these false flags, because they're going to ramp it up. And especially if, like, you guys believe Trump is good, if he really is good, then of course they're going to do that, because they would never want to give up control. So, if you're one of them people out there that love Trump and think he is good, then you should even be more worried than me, because that would obviously, if I ran the world and I knew, hey, this guy's about to come in and lock my whole squad up, and I know we have all this deep state shit, we got HARP technology, we got this, most of these people would rather hit the nuke button than allow themselves to go.
Well, you heard what happened. Jack Smith, the one, what do you call it? He's unconstitutional, but he's the one that got the criminal charges against Trump, raided his Mar-a-Lago thing on the file. Jack Smith, special counsel. They fired him today and dropped all the cases against Trump that he had.
What?
Yeah. The DOJ fired him today. From what I'm hearing, anybody else go out and check and confirm that. But from what I read, is the DOJ fired him today, and they dropped the charges that cases against Trump.
That's interesting.
That he was doing.
Huh. I'll have to look into that one, Pops. That's very fascinating. So, before you go, do you have any shows coming up, Dad? I know you're working with Sovereign Radio and doing a bunch of other projects. Do you got?
Yeah, we have that Rumble channel that we're going to be growing. We do a video once a week on that. I'll get you the link. You can share that with everybody. We'll have David Hodgins on that tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the election. We're going to be talking about what he's hearing that they're going to be pulling off. We're going to be talking about a lot of that stuff. Then we're going to bring somebody else on. Again, buckle up. Make sure you got your food, your water. I'm telling you, make sure you keep inventory, for God's sakes, and rotate it from the thing that's going to expire the closest, and then put your stuff that expires late. Make sure you got all your shit, your supplements, your prescriptions, water, all of that stuff. Make sure you have it, because we don't know what's going to happen. Okay, so if nothing happens, you got some stock and food, right, and what you use, personally, and you rotate that through, and just keep rotating it through. You need to do that, because everybody that was for Trump, and again, I told you guys, I'm in Austin, so I'm in
right.
It's blue here, right? And I went to the polls. I went to the voting place, and there was hardly anybody in. There was no line.
What?
So I knew yesterday that the Democrats just weren't coming out. And remember, there's a lot of fraud going on. What I'd like to see happen is that the government, the Congress, passes a law where only citizens with ID, citizen confirmation, one-day voting, and paper ballots. We need to go to that. That needs to be a law in every state. Then let's see what happens.
Right.
Then let's see what happens. I think they fear that too. I think they fear, and again, there's bad people on each side of the equation, right?
Of course, yep.
God knows these people's hearts and what they are all about, and he's seen everything they've done. But I'm sure there's some good people too. I'm sure there's some good people, very small percentage,
right,
but there's some good people. I need to see myself things moving in the right direction, and the government moving back to the Constitution, where it handles the 5 things, not the 500 million things. They don't need to be in charge of our retirement. They don't need to be in charge of our healthcare system. They don't need to be in charge of our food system. They need to get out of all of that and go back to the Constitution. And when I see that, I hope I see that before I leave this planet.
I do too.
Then I'll start getting some faith in the federal government.
Yep, I agree with you, Dad, and that would be. I hope you see it too, brother, before you.
And somebody was asking who shit their pants. It was Biden that shit his pants on stage.
Did he for real? Did that really happen?
Well, he was sitting down and, I mean, so.
Dude, I heard they're not letting him out the basement no more. Like, he ain't allowed to come on. My mom, I forget.
Well, it's very interesting that his wife, Jill, wore pure red yesterday when she went to vote.
Oh, wow. Well,
what is that signaling,
all the color game too, it's very occultic. But with Biden, is it true? My mom told me something about, he said something on TV like the only garbage or trash he's seen out here was Trump supporters or Trump.
Yeah, he did say that. The guy's out of his mind, so he can't really.
80% of America, bro. You can't just say that. Even Obama was.
Well, what Trump does, because Trump's the master marketer, right?
Yeah, he's good.
So what did he do? He right after he said that, he put on the garbage man's vest, and he had a garbage truck come up with Trump all over it. The man stepped up into the garbage truck and got in there and drove to his rally in the garbage truck. And
smart for that though.
So yeah, it blew up. He's really good at getting things to go viral. He knows what he's doing, and we'll see. Let's see what happens. I mean, I just would say everybody needs to prepare. Everybody needs to be ready. And you need to take care of yourself and your family and make sure you got the hand of protection of the divine creator of all things. Make sure of it. Make sure you put that time in every day to build that relationship. I'm telling you, it's going to be life or death. That's how it's going to be.
Yep.
That's how it's going to be.
And don't fear it, guys. It's nothing to fear. It's a beautiful thing. Actually, we need some change. We can't have the same stagnant stuff going on. So I'm excited about this.
No, we're living in the best time that we could ever live in. It's not going to be the best time for everybody, but for the people that are moving in the right direction, the right frequency, the right vibration, and building that connection with the creator and doing what's righteous, they're going to have magnificent stuff happening to them and their family and all of that, blessings like they've never seen before. But those people on the other side of the equation, it's not going to look good. And not that everything's going to be rosy for even the good people. We're going to go through things that we got to stick together, and we got to work together, we got to pray together, we got to declare and decree together, and we got to get through it.
Yeah, we do. You're right, Pops. And that's all we can do, because there is power in collective prayer, manifestation, all that. Our thoughts create reality. So we could change anything we want, especially if we got millions of people together focusing on the same goal, the same thing. There's nothing that we couldn't do. And that's what they're scared of, guys. They fear that so bad, us coming together and realizing the true powers within us, and that God is within every one of you out there, the real God. And it's not male or female. If someone says he, it's just because even my dad knows that, because I've seen someone in the comments say that. My dad knows God is just energy, but
that could transform into anything it wants.
Right. Male, female, anything. It could take any shape. But so many people are just used to saying he. So that's just where that comes from. I don't think people mean to say it like that. But yeah, Dad, I'm really thankful you came on. We haven't got to do a show in a while. I had to get some mouth work done on my teeth, and so we had to take last week off, and it was just nice to be able to spend this time with you and catch up. And I definitely appreciate you taking the time out. I know you're a very busy man.
Well, I love you, son, and I love all the brothers and sisters that are here today. I'm going to continue to pray for you all and declare and decree, that you will thrive through this and not survive or just barely survive through it. So make sure that some of the things I've told you here, please, implement these things and take care of yourself and take care of your family.
Yep. And thank you for coming on today. And guys, make sure you get yourself the Energy Wellness Band. That link's down in the description. Promo code Truth Mafia. I'm going to end it, Pops. There's an outro, so you can go ahead and head out. Tell Mom I said I love her, and have a great night, brother.
Will do, son. Love you.
Take care, Pops.
Yo, we living in a sim, reality's a game. NPCs around us, they all look the same. Soulless entities controlled by AI. Quantum computer running life, asking why. Are you just a player, controlled by machine? Or a first player character, living the dream? Tap into the code, break free from the lies. Decode your gematria, see through their disguise. In the simulation, what's your role, what's your fate? Are you real or controlled, can you navigate? Elites use gematria, secrets in the code. Find out your archetype, let the truth unfold. Super quantum computer, pulling all the strings. NPCs moving like puppets on a swing. The Matrix got nothing on the life we lead. Green letters falling is the truth we need. Are you just a player, controlled by machine? Or a first player character, living the dream? Tap into the code, break free from the lies. Decode your gematria, see through their disguise. In the simulation, what's your role, what's your fate? Are you real or controlled, can you navigate? Elites use gematria, secrets in the code. Find out your archetype, let the truth unfold. Archetypes defined from NPCs to Neo. First players rise, let your true self show. Do the